Hey,
Hi, Rich.
Hi, Rich.
what's up, guys?
Learning about videos.
So did we lose Mabel again?
Yeah, Mabel and Justin have been popping on and off. I'm not sure what their issue was. So.
But the thing I'm most excited about, Ryan, is the new the magazine.
Do you want to go over that at all or not yet?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Oh, okay, great. So let me go back to the home here. I'm pretty excited about this too, guys. I mean, I talked to Frank about this. There's a few things that I think are actually high quality to get excited about, and honestly, this is one of them, and it's a great product that he's able to tap into. So I'll just let Frank, let's let you talk, and then I don't know if there's a demo on here.
I provided. I think there should be a link to where you can view the latest copy.
And I'll pull that up here in a second, but I'll just let you go over what it is, and then I'll pull it up to show everybody.
So this is an online, a e-magazine put together by a friend of mine called Matt Lee. He's been doing this for about 6 years. I was one of his first subscribers because I had a background in publishing. And then I took that into a background in desktop publishing. And I always wanted to do a magazine like this, but I didn't really have the artistic ability or the technical skill to do something that high end. So when I saw this thing, I was like really aggravated. I said, man, this guy is doing exactly what I always wanted to do. So I became a customer. I've used it off and on, for lead generation or just as a giveaway. But then, when I got involved with doing this work for the Chambers of Commerce, I said, boy, this is just great for them, because if they send this out free to their members 12 times a year, it's really going to increase their retention. So, every month it's got custom, very timely articles, very well written. They're written, that's 100% copyscape compliant. The articles are engrossing. When you read them, you're not bored. You feel like you're really learning something. And it's just a fantastic product. So I went to Matt and I asked him, I said, look, can I sort of pay you to rebrand this as my own? He calls it clicks. So you may have seen it around in the past. But I worked a deal with him where I'm now using all of his resources, and I'm calling it Advantage, because my chamber program is called Chamber Member Advantage. And the concept is that every month, chambers give their members benefit so that when it comes time to renew the membership, they feel like they're getting something through the year, and they're less hesitant to write the renewal check. So I'm now working on marketing this to 6,000 chambers across the United States. For a chamber, it costs $197 a year because of all the customizations we do. But if you have a directory and you want to send this to your directory members, you can get this for $47 a month. And I brand it. If you want to call it something other than Advantage, that's fine. You want to supply me with a logo, the name, whatever you want to do. There's a one-time charge to do all the graphic work and to rebrand it to your specific publication. And when we show you the demo, you'll see on the inside that you get to edit certain portions of the text. If you want to show that, Ryan, we can do that.
Sure. I'll do that.
And you can also pay me to add an extra page where you can sell ads to your members to recoup your investment and to make extra money.
Can you guys still see that?
Yep.
Okay.
So this is the latest copy. This is the cover. This is the different stories that are on the inside. Like I said, they're all great articles, and we brand it at the bottom of the cover with your company name or your website name, whatever you want to do. And then inside here, this orange portion, you write your own message, welcoming your members. And then underneath that, there's another block that you can customize. The whole thing can be customized. If you want to add your own articles, whatever you want to pay to have done, I can do. It's all done in InDesign, which is not an easy program to learn. People, you can try and do it on your own, but I guarantee you'll be back to me in no time because it's really not easy it's worse than like PageMaker or Quark or any of those. So the graphics are beautiful. I mean, the stories are just very up to date. They just had one on Alexa search, doing web searching by voice. I mean, look at the graphics in this thing. It's just phenomenal. I mean, it's better than anything out there, I'm telling you. And when your customers get this, man, they really feel like they're being treated to something really special.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the next step up, I guess, of what we talked about last week. We talked about the ebook stuff. Now, obviously, this is all pre-done content. If you were going to do it on your own, the Beacon one's the way to do it, I guess, for your content, because it kind of creates it. It's not obviously as good as this. This is really good, as he was saying, high quality, customized content. Now, you could probably do this on your own, but like Frank said, you just don't. A lot of time you don't have the time or the patience to get it to look like this.
Yeah, there's the voice search article. I didn't realize it was in this month.
Oh, excellent. We're going to talk about that today. And we got enough people in here today, Frank. I'll go ahead and do the stuff, and I'm going to redo the videos anyway, so no lost time on that. I'll do the Endorsal thing. We're going to talk about this today, about the social proof piece.
All right.
How to use Facebook for local.
Right. It's very much geared for local small businesses, and that makes it, for my use and for a Chamber of Commerce use, that's their target audience. So they're not wasting a word of any article on, stuff that it just doesn't have anything to do with. And you can put a full page ad in it for your directory. If you want to send it out to people who aren't already in your directory and say that, join our directory and get this magazine free every month with your membership. I'm telling you, there's not much out there that you can give away for $47 a month. I mean, if you get one paying member, I don't know what you're charging a month for a member, but, let's say you're getting $29.95. So you get 2 members a month from sending this out to people who aren't in your directory. You're paying for it. And the loyalty that you're building with the current members that you already have just can't be beat.
Yep. That was great stuff.
Especially by able to brand it with your own, you can name it anything you want, And I love that idea. But Advantage was perfect for me because of Chamber Member Advantage.
Right. Well, that's great. It's a great resource. Actually, this is kind of a side. I'm just going to talk about this real quick since I'm seeing this here, Frank. As everybody knows, if you're using this, any of these with the multi, image where you can upload multiple images, the BD system used to require you to have a photo title name, and it defaulted to photo number 1, photo number 2, photo number 3. And if you didn't change it, it just put it there. Actually, you couldn't remove it. It wouldn't let you save it. It would ask for the name or kind of go the red box saying you needed a name. And so obviously a lot of people just leave it as photo 1, 2, and 3. But now you can delete that and save it and not have any title. So that is no longer required. They turned that off so it'll save properly. So
you don't have to put anything there at all now if you don't want, right?
Right.
Yeah, I got to go back in and change that.
So that's good.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think that's the hottest thing I'm doing right now. I really love this. And I really like selling ads too. I mean, because my business model on my directory is to sell ads.
Right.
So my listings are free, although now I'm going to run some promotions for premium listings for lifetime members.
Right.
To me,
and the great thing about that is, when it's the answer to the question that everybody always says is, well, what are you going to do to promote my business? And you're like,
right.
Well, it's going to be online, And oh, by the way, you're going to get your logo splashed on, a prominent page in the magazine that just goes out to every business in the chamber.
And this thing is set up where you can take it to a printer and just make a hard printed copy.
Right.
It's all completely 100% formatted for A4 printing. Just take it to your Sir Speedy and away it goes.
Yeah, and I don't know the pricing on that, on what that would run. I'd be interested in at least pull.
It's not cheap, but if you're selling ads in it,
Right.
you're going to pay for it and you're going to make a little bit of money.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to look into that next. As soon as I get everything up and running, I'm going to look into that next.
Yeah, I'm gonna, like I told you, I'm in with the local printer here. They're on my site, and so I'm gonna see what they'd charge for that too, or at least kind of do a test run. And who knows? Like you said, if this is a chamber thing and you're giving them the product, the chamber may pay to print it. You're giving them the thing, and then they're promoting their own, their own. Business
I don't
too.
give it to the chambers. The chambers.
Well, you could. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, you could. Yeah. I would give it to the chamber if, under my Chamber Member Advantage program, I was hawking my services to their chamber members inside the publication.
Right.
Whereas they can sell some ads for their members, but I want some ads in there too. Because if I, pick up a couple website jobs or a couple video jobs, hey, that's more than the chamber was going to give me to pay for the issue.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started for today's topic. And again, just get some questions together, and I'll try to answer them after this. Same as before, I'm going to go ahead and go into a presentation on the topic of social proof through online testimonials today. And then we'll talk about anything else anybody wants to talk about for BD updates or any questions or concerns they have about with their directory. And then I'll go into an actual product set that will ease everybody's use or implementation of social proof with testimonials for the website if they want. And again, it's also available on the directorytoolkit.com if you guys want to avail yourself of that. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and start today's presentation. So today's webinar is on social proof through online testimonials. The importance of online customer reviews. I think everybody kind of knows that. It's ingrained in everybody's mind of reviews. They think of Google, they think of Yelp, obviously Facebook. Everything's reviewed nowadays. The review system's an integral part of the BD system for your directory, and everybody wants to try to get testimonials or reviews on their site. So what I'm going to go over today is not necessarily reviews for other businesses, like for your directory. I'm going to go over testimonials for you and your company for your actual directory business or your agency or your whatever business you have for your niche. That's what we're going to go over today. So why testimonials? What's the importance of online customer reviews? Why do we need them? I think we all know this, is that it provides trust, right? Customer testimonials are a great marketing tool because they're basically they're a personal word of mouth reference for you and your company, right? I mean, the testimonials give customers the power to publicly share that positive experience they've had with you and your business, your product or service, and other people are going to read that. People like to, there's some people that just love to give reviews or love to shout their opinion. And if it's a positive opinion about you and your business and you can grab those and provide them to other people, then that's really good. But 72% say that those positive reviews make them trust a local business more. And obviously that's your ultimate goal for your business and your niche, is try to get additional clients. And so the important thing to remember too is that your clients are actually looking for these reviews, right? So 90% of the customers read online reviews before visiting a business. And so the customers in your niche directory or marketplaces obviously want to do business with companies they know, and letting people know who else has done business with you is a powerful mechanism that you can utilize on your directory or just other local businesses for generating those new leads and sales, which can lead to a more profitable business for you. And that's really the ultimate goal for anybody who's doing their directory. And so you say, why an online testimonial? And it's basically like getting a referral from their friend. In fact, 88% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. And so that's it's basically like they're getting told by a friend. Again, if it's even a local business that they trust that you do business with, it's even more powerful, and you can actually lead yourself to more business. And so the importance of that is when they see positive ratings and they get that feedback, they're actually going to spend more with your company. So they're on average likely to spend 31% more on a business with excellent reviews than if they had meager reviews or low reviews. So high reviews are always good when you're trying to do that, and those people actually spend more money on your site. And so the real question too is it can't just be one or two. You got to have a bunch of testimonials, because obviously if there's anybody can get one testimonial from at least their mom, right? So they want to see a bunch of reviews. So this is kind of some stats on the number of online reviews before people trust a business based on some surveys. And the majority is somewhere there between 3 and 7, or 10, but 4 to 6 being the highest one. They want to see at least that many before they start trusting that, hey, this is an actual business that people use. So when you're gathering that testimonial and that feedback, think about that and how you're presenting that. And they want to know that it's a lot of people agree, because anybody can get the few outliers that like you. But to get a lot of people that like you, that's harder to do. So people want to see multiple reviews for your business. And so not only do they need to see a lot of reviews, they need to see positive reviews. And so you need at least a 4-star average when you're doing these things online. So 92% of users will use a local business if it has at least a 4-star rating. And so obviously it's an average, right? So it's going to be 4 point something. That's the problem. I don't want to say the problem with these the 5-star ratings that's kind of become ubiquitous, but it's hard to get a 5-star to round up to that. So most everybody's a 4, if that makes sense, at least. And there's obviously words that go with those ratings. But if you dip down into the 3 stars, you might as well be serving rat dew out of the back end of a truck. They're not gonna go visit you, right? They're not gonna go to your restaurant. They're just thinking you're the worst thing in the history of restaurants, or directories in this case. You want to make sure that you have those 4-star averages. But one of the problems with online reviews and just any other systems, and I think anybody having the directory would realize this, is that it's hard to control those ratings, right? As soon as it starts dipping down, or something happens, or something negatively affects an opinion, or something goes bad and it wasn't your fault, you just start getting that avalanche of things showing up online, and it dips down. It's hard to get that back up, because your reputation's kind of damaged. So you want to be able to have a system set in place that allows you to get those higher ratings and only keep those higher ratings for your business. And that's not easy to do sometimes. And so the high reviews and good reviews it's really the purchasing tipping point, because 72% of consumers will actually take action only after reading a positive review. So if you don't have any reviews, not only are they not trusting the reviews you have because you don't have a high rating, you don't have a bunch of them, you don't have any of them. You don't have anything on your site that's actually providing that impetus, the social proof to push them over to the edge to want to buy. So 72% will only take action after reading a positive review. If you don't have anybody on your site or show how other people have utilized that stuff, they're just not even going to buy. So that's important to put on your website, and to have something for your directory, your business model, when you're talking to clients, to be able to prove the social proof that you are worth your weight in gold in your particular niche, your directory space. So what I want to go over today is the 5 steps to collect testimonials that attract new leads and sales. And so the first one is there's obviously many ways to ask for testimonials, and asking for testimonials the right way to give you the powerful reviews that you attract your ideal clients is the hardest thing to do. But the first thing you need to do, first step in order to collect the testimonials, you need to ask for the testimonials, right? If you don't ask, this isn't the field of dreams. If you build the survey tool, they will not come. You have to ask them. So if people don't give you testimonials, it's probably because you didn't ask. And so we'll talk about the best time to ask for that feedback in a little bit here. But first, I want to go into the 4 do's and don'ts for asking for testimonials. So what you do want to do, you want to keep it brief. When you ask them, be friendly and personable. Obviously, it's usually somebody that you've already done business with that you know is willing to do it. And be positive on that. You're asking for a favor and showing good business sense when you do that. So don't ask for something in return. Don't ask them to do something that's not honorable. Just be positive and let them provide you with a review a testimony if they liked your service. It also is reinforcement for your branding. Tell them, hey, I'm glad you enjoyed your service. I'm trying to help other people with the service that you enjoyed. I'm trying to help out my branding. And I think anybody who has a business or knows how important that is going to say, yeah, I'd want somebody else to do that for me. So they're going to be more likely to do it for you, and just kind of reinforce that. And then you want to give them a way to report that feedback directly to somebody important, right? You want to give them to say that's going straight to me, or it's going straight on the website. Tell them it's going to make them feel important, that you're not just wasting their time. It's not going to send in an email back and, hey, I'll get to it when I get to it. Maybe it'll go online, maybe it won't. I'm not going to tell anybody about it. They want to know that it's worth their time. So make sure you tell them that as well. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to assume that they had a great experience. And so encourage them to fill it out, the testimonial on what their real experience was, and don't feel like you're forcing their hand. But the one thing about a pulse or process on these testimonials is you want a way to grab the good testimonials, but not necessarily have your bad reviews show up. And I'll show you how to do that with the service that I'm going to go over a little bit later today. But that's really important because we already talked about the ratings system earlier and why you want to keep that very high. Don't use it to advertise. I just said that before, but don't try to sell or say, hey, I'm gonna profit off from your thing. I'm gonna put since I know you're a famous person in the local area here, I'm gonna put your thing all over my advertising and try to get more business based on your name. Don't do that. If you're gonna send the email out to everybody, try not to send it to 400 people at a time where it looks like it's automated. You don't want to make it sound too generic. You want to make sure that they think it's coming from the heart, coming from you. And what I normally do is I just do normally send it from me, personalize everything every time, and it gets a better response rate. And then if you are automating for some reason, like you got a backlog, you got a whole bunch of customer lists that you're just starting out your testimonial, and you want to get a lot of that stuff from them, and you are sending it out via some sort of mailing system, just remember it needs to come from a person. It needs to include their name if you can parse that in there. If you are going to go that route, and then make it at least sound personable. I would just always do it yourself, but if you're going to automate it, make sure you don't do that. So those are a couple of do's and don'ts for actually sending it out. And so while you're asking for that feedback, you want to ask it at the right time. So here are the 4 best times to ask for that feedback. So the first one is right after a project is successfully completed. So you want to request those testimonials from your newest customers first, because it's fresh on their mind. If you did a good job for them, you're going to want to ask for that feedback and provide that to them. So I'm gonna prep Rich here because I don't think I've asked him for a feedback, and I'm gonna have, if he's willing to do it, I'm gonna do it live on the show here, or I don't have to show it to you if you're not comfortable, Rich. But I'll show you the system we're gonna use later, and then I'll have you do it if you're willing to do that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, awesome. I didn't prep that either, so I'm glad you said yes. That would have been embarrassing. So thanks, Rich. I'll show you how to do that here in a second. When a customer expresses he or she is happy with your work, you want to do that, right? Obviously, if they're negative towards you, or they don't like your product, then they're probably not going to give you a good review. You probably don't want to ask those people. Don't ask everybody just because you don't have any testimonials. You want to ask for the people that are going to give you a good review. And then when you've solved a problem for the customer, right? So maybe they're not a paying client, but you did something nice for them, or you were able to solve a problem. I got some of those on my testimonial thing. They're not a client. They didn't pay me to do anything, but I answered a question for them, or I put an article up on the directory toolkit that they liked, and they left a testimonial just because they liked what I provided. So just remember, if it's anybody that you did somebody for, it doesn't have to be a paying client, just if you did something good for them. And then the final one is when a customer says, thank you for your work. So a lot of times it's hard to know if you're not surveying or if you're not getting a good read, or if you did something simple and you didn't know if they were wowed enough to leave a testimonial because you told them where the local ATM was at or something. But if they say, hey, thank you for your work, or say if they seem positive, like, hey, thank you for doing X, that's your inroad right there. Like, well, no problem. It was my pleasure. I am. And then you kind of lead in with what we've already talked about. I'm trying to get some added exposure for what I do or for my business or my portfolio or me as a person, whatever you're doing. Would you mind offering up a testimonial for what I was just able to do for you? You can come up with whatever your wording is or whatever, but if they say thank you, they're probably going to be willing to leave a feedback. So just keep that in mind. So the second step of the how to collect those testimonials is set your system up to get feedback. If you're currently asking for testimonials or getting ready to, you probably already have an idea how you want to do that. There's obviously a lot of ways to do it to get the testimonials from customers and share that information. But the most important thing is not to waste your client's time, because we already talked about, reaffirming that you're going to actually do something with it. It's not going to be wasted their time. But when you're setting up the system, it needs to be easy, it needs to be foolproof, and it needs to be something that they know that they're going to be able to get something out, or they'll have fun doing, or they're not wasting their time. It's not. I see a lot of stuff online for doing testimonials and kind of set it up like a survey or review it. A testimonial should not be a 5-segment question and answer, or where you ask them a bunch of different things. It should just be, hey, tell me your testimonial. Here's a blank, fill it in. Because if it's too many steps, they're just not going to do it. And obviously response rate on this is key. There's only so many customers you have. You don't want to have 25 customers and have it be so arduous and long that one out of the 25 submits their testimonial. You want a higher conversion rate than that. So make it simple and something that they can follow to get that feedback. So here's 4 reasons why businesses fail to use those testimonials, or why they don't actually get that. And the first one I kind of already talked about is that it's hard to collect. And so one trick, to make the process is embedding the testimonials into your website or blog. To make it easier to keep those testimonials updated at all times without, constant interaction from you to figure out how to do that, or bouncing emails back and forth on how to, get a testimonial. You want a dedicated widget or a dedicated software like Endorsal that we're going to go over here in a little bit just allows you to do that easier, faster, and more efficiently, and to gather those testimonials from one central online repository to do it all in one spot. And that's really the way to go. The second thing is it's hard to get reviews where they matter. Evidence shows obviously that the benefit of endorsements with Google or Facebook is being a key player. But why do those external ones matter? If it's not on Google or Facebook, why do those other ones matter? And how do you encourage your customers to put a review on there by floating them off somewhere on Google? And then even if they are on Google or Facebook, how do you get those Google or Facebook comments to your website so that all of your hard-earned testimonials are going to the place where you're actually trying to sell your content? So we'll talk about that in a little bit here as well with the Endorsal. And then the third one is that the clients don't have time. And so there's like this moment of truth when you fired off a bunch of, a large number of testimonial requests where your, loyal customers who say they'll send you a testimonial, they'll do it, goes to crickets and nobody responds. And so is it your fault? And a lot of times it's just because they don't have time. And then, writing a rich testimonial is time-consuming process. Sometimes they want to do it. And again, maybe you have it set up as a 5-step process, and they started it but never finished it because they never even got to the final question, which was the paragraph of the testimonial. So, and the fourth thing is sometimes they don't actually know what to say. Writing the testimonials is harder when they don't have any guidelines or questions to answer, and they just say, hey, give me your testimonial. Sometimes it may be easier because they just have a thought about your company and just wanting to put down a couple sentences, but sometimes they don't know what to write. So I'm just going to throw a couple things up on the board here for you guys, and you don't have to use all of these, but this is the tease method. It's going to tease the testimonial out of them. So I'll Rich, you can take notes for when you're going to add up your testimonial here in a second, but what you want to use on these. But, suggest it's something tactful, like write a fitting and considerate testimonial for us. We'd appreciate it. Keep in mind that we're going to show this to others. We're going to put it on our website, and others are going to see that. So don't, obviously, nobody's going to lace a testimonial with profanity, but keep it. Just make it known that you're going to use this. This is valuable, and other people are going to see it. Emphasize, tell them, hey, highlight the strengths or positive experience you've had with our product, just so we can help other people out. We're trying to gain extra business. So let us know what positive experience you've had so we can help other clients out like we did for you. And make it authentic. I always try to tell people, make sure it's in your voice. Don't copy and paste a testimonial from somewhere else. Don't make it sound like somebody, that you're right. I want you to write the testimonial. Make it sound like you, and because make it authentic and heartfelt, because that's what people are going to love. And it's going to be, it can be specific to the job we did, right? But if it's more generic, to just, put the other person in a spot where they feel like that could be them, as opposed to your specific thing. That's always good too, for the customers to know that could apply to them. Keep it short. Obviously, we're going to embed these places. We don't need a 5-page, dissertation on all the things we did for you. If it's that flowing, of a good testimonial, zap that to us in an email and we'll do that. But I just, don't stress out about that. Just put a couple sentences, keep it short and sweet on what you liked about us, get straight to the point, and that's going to make a better testimonial because people are going to actually read that. And then keep it engaging, real life examples, or keep it fun. Don't, again, this kind of comes back to authentic and personality, but just make it fun as well. And that's always something for everybody. So those are just a couple items that people can do. So the third thing is send clients a link or form to post their comments, right? Obviously, depending on what system you use, if you're doing it via email or if you're doing it all online, it may take a different format. But obviously, the third step is you need to get it to them. So here's just an example email reference that you can send out. And again, customize is always good, right? Hey, thank you for purchasing our product. Our aim is to provide all of our customers with the best service and experience. We'd appreciate your feedback. So if you give us a few minutes of your time, it would help us to continue to improve and provide the link to it. And to say your feedback is greatly appreciated. If there's anything we'd like to talk about regarding the services or your products, feel free to contact me directly. So now it comes back and says, now you're giving something to me. I want to give something back to you. If you have anything that you need about our service, it's kind of a follow-up. Hey, get back in touch with you. We'd love to hear from you and help you out with anything else in the future as well. So it's just a demo kind of example. You can personalize it to your own needs. But the third step there is you need to provide it. And so having that process well thought out before contacting the first client is going to dramatically increase the number of testimonials that you get and the positive impact that you can have in your target audience if you have that all set and ready to go. The fourth item here is you need to compile that testimonial from the feedback that you receive. So after you get all that back, now you got to put it into a format that looks good and you can put on your website so other people can read it, right? It doesn't do good anything in your system or your inbox. You got to have it so it's ready to go. And you can put it on your directory so other people can read it and again, try to get additional clients. And then the final thing is you want to post it online and include that as much information as you can, right? We talked about earlier about it being a real person. They want to know maybe it's a local business that they even know. They want to see the logo. They want to see the person. They want to know the name and who they work for. Get as much information as you can. Sometimes people don't want that and they just want their first name and don't want their business or their website or anything else. But again, that can provide some lead magnet for them as well. If they put their website on there, people go, oh, let me go check out that website. Let me see if it's a real business. And then they're always going to go to your website. I find a lot of times when they see the review, at least I do, go visit the website and see what it is. And then this is kind of a bonus one, but I'd always, you got to curate these listings. I see a lot of these online. In fact, some of the developers, even for Brilliant Directories, that have some testimonials up, and I go to look at see what directories they've worked on or what testimonials they have, and 3/4 of the testimonial links or websites that they referenced are not up. They're not live. It's not a real person. Now I'm thinking they made it up. Who knows? Probably was a real one back in the day, but is not now. So always try to curate that stuff too. Once in a while, go back and look at that, or make sure that, and you should know that, right? If you're keeping up with your clients, whether that they've changed their website or if they're no longer in business, then just take those down, as it's actually detracting from your service as opposed to helping it out. So those are the 5 steps to collect testimonials. And the big thing, obviously, you can do all these on your own. You can ask for feedback through an email. You set up your own system, figure out what link or form you're going to do, then compile them, and then post them on your directory. You can do all that stuff with 5 different systems, or not have a system for any of those and make it an arduous task to get those together. The best way to do that is to actually do it with a system that does all 5 of these things. And that's what I'm going to go to a little bit later on in the webinar to show you Endorsal and what that can do for your directory. So I'll just stop it there. I'll go into the details about the system. Do what I've always done. I'll show you how I utilize that and do a live demo walkthrough a little bit later. Any questions on that or any comments on testimonials? Can anybody hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
I was mesmerized by your voice.
Well, testimonials are great. People want to know that you are who you say you are, and that you deliver a product and service. And it doesn't take very long to put together good testimonials. I know you were also talking about having a recording program. How is that going that would allow people to go to your webpage and click on a button and record a testimonial?
Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier. It's some of them are very glitchy, and it's video is a whole other realm of complexity, right? Because you got to involve the audio and the video camera, and it's got to record the video, and now you got to encode the video and then get that in there. I do have a demo up on my BD site that I've got working. We'll probably do that for another webinar to show the follow-on to this is not getting the verbal testimonials, but also getting the actual video testimonials. So it does work. I do have it set up. But yeah.
One thought is you might be able to do kind of the hybrid or in between. When I first heard that, when you mentioned that, John, I believe it is that maybe put that link on your website, PitchPipe, where they can just record a video or include that PitchPipe link or whatever. Because I think people are a lot easier to, like leave a voicemail or leave a message instead of trying to write, type it out, retype it, kind of think through their thoughts. So you could say, hey, if it's easier for you just to record your testimonial on audio, because again, video, people, there's a lot of moving parts with, how they feel like they want to look and,
right,
the perception and all that stuff and loading. But just put PitchPipe and say, feel free to record your testimonial. We'll transcribe it for you and then send it back to them for their kind of approval. Because you'll polish it up a little bit where they have like filler words and uhs and ums and, or stuff that's not relevant, just pull out.
I never say I've only said it like 150 times on this.
I have a site that gets a fair amount of traffic and no one has ever left.
Yeah, but not even
you got to ask for it, right? You got to set it up and.
Yeah, no, we have a whole thing at the bottom of the page where use this to either ask us a question, leave a testimonial, make a complaint, get in touch with the owner, whatever you want. Leave a message. It's never been used. So
I don't think we've had PitchPipe on our different sites too, and it's never really been used. But I'm just saying for this application, give people the option. So it's almost not like, will you do a testimony or not? It's kind of like you want to meet on Tuesday or Thursday is better for you. So would you rather, write out a testimony, or would you rather record it on the audio?
What's that service? Obviously, Rich does podcasting, so when he said an audio thing and transcribing, that's what he does. But maybe some other people aren't familiar with that. What you said, PitchPipe?
PitchPipe is the platform where you can just put an embedded code on your website, and people can punch it and record like a voicemail. But you could also just set up.
I went to pitchpipe.com and that's not working. What is it? Pitchpipe.app?
Maybe so, yeah. And then you could also just set up like a Google. Might be actually probably easier.
This one was called Voicemail Pro, I think. Same thing.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that's probably easier is to avoid all the technology integration, all that stuff, is in your email. Just say, feel free to call this voice line, and you could just set up a free Google Voice, and then it's all done in one step. So it's a free. Get a free Gmail, get a free voice over IP number. Doesn't have to 800 number with billing and everything else, and just say you can.
Sometimes that stuff gets more complicated, and that's why I was kind of talking about in a lot of the directories we do. There's you can do each one of those steps separately, and they're free, and you can integrate them. But again, you'd be surprised how people won't even fill in their directory ad, right? Let alone
Exactly, yeah.
A 5-step free Google chain of processes together to get an audio. But yeah, it's totally doable. Sometimes people have a hard time stringing that stuff together. So.
Yeah, but I'm saying you don't have any stringing. So like in your email, you had that call to action, just or on the app, you're going to show about click here to type your message. But if they don't want to type it, they can just hit call that number, leave a voicemail. It goes right to Google. Google automatically transcribes it with the voice over IP. You don't need any other widgets, plugins, embedded codes, anything. They don't need to know anything other than a phone number, and you're never gonna pick up the phone. It's gonna go right to voicemail, and then Google will transcribe that for you. And then you just kind of clean up the bits and pieces, and you have your testimonial.
Yeah, hey Deborah, are you welcome, Deborah? Are you up on voice or want to come up voice today? We're going over testimonials processes today, so are you? Let me know I had a question I was going to ask you if you want to come up, but. So I don't think I did one from you, John, too. So if you want to offer up one as well, we'll toss you into the live mix as well today if you want, but don't have to answer that one. But
that's a question you say?
No, I was gonna. Rich was in. Hopefully, Rich, you're getting your couple sentences down there, and then we'll kind of do it live on how fast you can do it, and I'll show them that real quick. But no, I was just saying I'll just toss it out to everybody. I think Frank already did one. I know Deborah did as well. If you want to leave a review there for the Directory Toolkit or the webinar, you can talk about any of that stuff you want. Feel free to. Anybody can do that. We'll get to that in a second. But let me. Does anybody have, before I jump into the second part and kind of go over the Endorsal system or whatever, does anybody have any questions? Rich, John, I guess, Deborah, anything for your directories or anything generic? I know, I can't remember if Rich, if we had a call later or not, but.
Yeah, for the directory, we're still trying to figure out the integration with, how to create an email system, whether we have to do it through, the Gmail integration.
Yep. Yeah, okay. So this may be applicable to you, Rich, and I don't really have this ready to present because I just talked about it with somebody yesterday, but I'm going to open up a new tab here, and has anybody heard of the Zapier email parsing or email parser? Anybody heard of that? No?
I have not.
So I don't have anything to really go over here other than to talk about how it works. But this is in a short synopsis of what it can do. I got confirmation that BD is actually working a Zapier integration. So I don't know what the timeline is. They're actually working on it. So that should be coming out, and that's going to solve everybody's problems once it does. I think I don't want to put a timeline on there, maybe 2 months or more. I don't know, maybe less, but they're working on that. They mentioned in the webinar the other day, and I thought, if they mention it, they're probably already looking into it. So they are. But anyway, so once that's done, that'll make everybody's lives easier. Then you can move that information via Zapier integration. That will be dynamic, and that would be great. That'll be great. But until that point, I'm not sure who's jumping in on the phone there. Okay, that was Frank.
Somebody's leaving an audio testimonial.
Yeah, I guess. So what this does is it's called parser.zapier.com, and what this does is just integrated into Zapier already. Right. But what it does is you connect your Zapier account to your email. and it basically gives you an email to send the email to, if that makes sense. So like instead of saying, hey, send it to my admin account, you can send that to the Zapier address. And you can do that off from a forum, the sign up email, all those emails that say, hey, here's your email and your sign in info. What you basically do is, and here's just an example, it's based off from everything having the same stuff in the same spot. So it would give you an email address, it'll be your directory at robot.zapier.com, and it's going to get the template, and you basically highlight in there where the information is that you want. So, and it kind of figures out, it always knows that on the fourth line after the comma, it has the money amount. So you highlight that and you say, that's going to be the cost, right? And that gets basically pulled, and you highlight this and say, that's the date. Highlight that and say, this is the tracking number. And the instance, what you would do for your directory is in the email where it says, welcome to Podcasters Directory. Here's your email. It has whoever signed up for your services email in that template. And so what Zapier would do, you'd highlight the email address, and then it pulls that into the Zapier database. And then now it's in that format. It's like it just came from the API from BD, but it didn't. It just came from an email scraping, basically. And so now that's in Zapier, and now you can do whatever you want with it. So one of my clients in the UK is using this, and it works great. I may have them on in another webinar to kind of showcase how to do it. But it basically pulls in the email, and now he uses that as a zap. So he's got the email address. Now he adds somebody to an autoresponder in his MailChimp. He then targets a Slack chat room where it pushes you just got a new client from your directory. This is his email. So it pushes it straight to his Slack channel on his phone. So he can immediately click on that email and respond and say, hey, this is a personal welcome. Welcome to the thing. If I can, whatever he sends out. And then the third thing he does is he sends he's got a video system, kind of like what we were talking about, where he can record and send a video to an email. And so what that does is it sends, sets an email up in that system, and it just pops up, and he records on his cell phone a personal video to that guy or girl, whoever signed up. And he's like, hey, John, thanks for signing up for my directory. I'm looking forward to getting to know you and involving you into the community. If you have any questions, let me know. Glad to hear from you. Hit stop on the record, and then it sends that person that video welcome email directly to them. So those are the three things he has set up, but it's all based off from an email parsing from your BD system, pulling the email, and then doing zaps or different things with that email based on the zap capability. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts. But
well, it is, but it's not. I mean, that's you're literally just getting the email forwarded to them, and then that it's just what Zapier normally does. It's exactly what you're asking your stuff to do, is to add them to a list for a marketing campaign or to whatever myriad of other things that you want to do on Zapier.
Yeah, because Ryan says that sends the video with Bongiorno, the service. It is pretty slick, so personal one-off video. One question I have kind of
I think that was what it was.
Yeah. As we move forward, is I anticipate or would you recommend that we probably need like a separate domain name for all those emails to go out on? In other words, maybe podcastersdirectory.net or .info instead of .com, because as we get several thousand or 10,000 people that's getting emails, even if it's coming through Zapier or through a Gmail integration or this or that, at the end of the day, it's if it's housed on, or people start deleting them, or people will mark it as spam for no particular reason. We had a person today that I was communicating direct message and on Instagram, encouraging her to get her profile up to 100%. She says, I never signed up for this service. I'm like, I didn't say it this way, but I sent her a link to her profile, and she did a few weeks ago. I mean, actually last month, but but she signed up. It was her account. It was never imported. She uploaded her logo on there, everything else. And so if that was an email exchange from our .com at some point, because they can handle what, up to 100,000 members at some point. I mean, does that make sense to have everything initiated from
and that's why you'd maybe want to use one of those marketing email systems, because then most of those, they have whitelisted IPs or whatever. It's not really actually coming from your domain. The reply to maybe is, but it's coming from 100 dot, BGIF at intercom.com or whatever, whatever.
But like on MailChimp, they always require you to have that reply to address. It has to be a real.
The reply to it, when they can't spam block a reply to address. That's your question. I mean, that's why it's done like that.
Okay. I guess that answers that question. And then one other question, I'm not sure if it's an appropriate time to ask it now, but, we're getting, where's my question at here with the, I lost my train of thought. It was either about people.
I love how you're very peaceful words.
We talked about it before, but on the getting people to 100% on their profile, because we get so many people that just put in their name, email, just they're on their contact form when they sign up. Right. I mean, is there a way that, like, as part of the sign up process, you can collect more information or not?
Yes, so you can. I think we talked about this. BD does recommends to not change the sign up form just as tied with the credit card and stuff like that. But you can add any sort of fields that you want on there. It just sometimes I don't recommend it either, because it's more things they got to fill in to click the sign up button. And if there's too much stuff, they're like, I don't want to fill this out, and then they don't even join at all, and you can't get it later.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think we'll probably go over this in another webinar, but an onboarding process or of how you do that for your directory is probably the better way to do it. I know you guys have a follow up there system, and a lot of directories don't, and so having that set up an onboarding process and contacting people and getting them to fill it out is probably the hardest thing to do, just to kind of get them involved. It's kind of a momentum thing. Once they get going and they realize the value of the system and they start doing stuff, they'll go fill it in. But it's just that getting the train moving, when it weighs eight tons, is just hard to get it done.
Exactly. Yeah. And then finally that the guy from the UK, I think that'd be a great webinar to host or whatever, to have him go through his email process and his protocol.
Yeah.
I guess we can do the review thing here now.
I've got a video that that shows how he did it. And so once I get permission that I can play that or forward it out, I'll just send that to you. Because he kind of walks it through, just so you can see visually how easy it was to set up.
Can I throw something out there?
Was that?
Can I throw something out to Rich there?
Sure.
Rich, you want to get them to fill out all their details? Bribe them.
And what have you used that's worked?
Well, I'm going to be using a $100 hotel discount card, which is good for hotel rooms, car rental, and discounts at attractions at various, like, SeaWorld, Disney World, that sort of thing.
Well, Rich, something for you, it's probably the easiest thing to do is one of your products that you offer.
Yeah.
Pick something that you don't mind giving away for free to get them in your ecosystem, and say, hey, we'll transcribe something for you, or one episode of your podcast or something, or
when people see $100, it gets their attention.
Yeah, I like that idea. For the editing service is one of our services. Or what about upgrading them, giving a promo code to upgrade their account from a All-Star to Rockstar for 3 months or something like that, or a month? Or
well, I don't want to say literally of offering stuff from your directory. I'm a big fan of creating your own money, basically, with your directory, of giving them, trading something that they've got normally for something that you can give them, because that's real money for everybody, for you and for them. But because you can kind of make up your own value for whatever you're offering up on your directory and trade for stuff. But go ahead, Frank.
If you're going to offer them something that you do, try to offer something that where if they get a certain level for free, they may want to pay to have that upgraded later. So you started that upsell process,
Right?
Yeah,
with
that's
the
what I was
free
thinking.
maneuver.
But the other thing too is it needs to be graspable. Like if you say, well, you're on the I'll just use donuts for an example. Like if I've never had a donut and you're like, well, you just bought the cake donut, I'm going to give you a Long John upgrade for free, and I'm thinking,
exactly.
I don't even is that supposed to mean something to me? I don't know what's a Long John. So if you're saying, well, I'm going to give you an upgrade to your the rocket level, or what, I forget what it's called,
Rockstar,
right? They'll be like, okay, great. What is that? But if it's something where you're like, we're going to transcribe one of your podcasts for free, and they're like, all right, where do I sign up for that? Because they know what that is, right?
Or let them enter to be in a raffle for a nice product that anybody with a studio would want, but you're renting studios, right? So that doesn't really work for you, I guess.
Well, we rent the studios, but we also have a whole shopping cart from editing services to transcription to audiobooks to jingle production, voiceovers, podcast art. So I would
do that for local customers. I'd be like, hey, come get an hour of studio time for free, and then when they roll in, they're like, let's take a tour. Let's see what.
Right. Yeah.
And then they're like, wow, just like I did.
The bottom line is, there's always something you can offer, to encourage them to.
But do it relevant, something they can put,
and a half filled out listing. Oh.
Now, I'll just finish on this. One thing that I have been experimenting, it seems to be working well, because I agree with you, Ryan. It's like, fill out, you get your profile 100%, and we'll upgrade you to All-Star or Rockstar. But I don't even know what that is, Right. And it just sounds like a freebie kind of thing. But what I've been doing is I said, if you get it updated in the next 24 hours or so, we'll put you on our featured member list on the homepage. And I've had, I don't know if I'm batting 1,000, but pretty close to it, because that's something they can visually see. Right. They see all the other featured members, and who wouldn't want to be at the top, the top 10 list or the Billboard, top 10 or the featured members. Unfortunately, we're only capped at 24, and I've kind of overpromised that, so I'm having to take people off the featured board list. But people really, because that's something they can really wrap their head around, rather than
that's all ego driven too.
It is big time ego, because even a raffle, it's like, well, what's odds of me winning? I don't know how many people are in this contest, and I'm going to give a $25 Amazon card, but I'm never going to win. And I don't know if there's 10 people or 10,000.
Well, we'll get to this in another webinar. One way you can do that is make it something within their control. And I think Rich, you were talking about this before, of a prize board type thing, where like you're number 3 on the board. You get, if you're number 1 for the referrals, you get a free car, right? Not a free car, but now they're like, I'm number 3. I'm only 10 behind. I can do that, and then they start telling everybody else about it, and then try to get to the higher, leaderboard. So. All right. Well, let me go ahead and go into just. Oops, I don't want to share the screen. I'll go ahead and go over the Endorsal stuff. And again, save up your questions. Rich, hope you're ready to go. As soon as I get to there, I'll give you the link, and we can do the demo here. I'm going to go over the Endorsal again. So we'll pick up where we left off. Okay, so Endorsal is basically all those 5 steps we just talked about. It does them automatically, of collecting high-quality testimonials. That's important to every business. We just talked about that previously and why that is. But it basically has always been a painful game of back and forth. They're using a bunch of convoluted processes or ones you had to come up with on your own that weren't efficient, didn't do it the job well. And basically streamlines the whole process by fully automating it, saving your business and your directory time and money. And you want to increase those conversions, get those testimonials, build the customer loyalty, and then strengthen your brand by putting those testimonials online. And I'll show you exactly how it is able to do that. So the first thing it does is they call it Endo Forms. It's basically quick and easy setup. You create your unique review form in minutes, and I'm going to demo this in a little bit. And they're basically fully customizable to your brand and use case. You can add your logo, change the colors, edit the text, and specifically which data you'd like to collect. So name, company, website, testimonial, that kind of stuff. And it's all done within a few minutes. So you can get on with collecting your customer testimonials, and it's easy for them to do as well. So the first thing it does is it enables your customers to put a face to the name with what they call smart avatars. And so what it does, it's a fact that faces sell, and we're more likely to trust a review if we can see that it came from a real person, like we talked about earlier. So what Endorsal does is it makes it easy for customers to add those avatars from their own social accounts in just a couple of clicks. And they can also upload their own photo in seconds with their fast uploader that they have as well. But the awesome thing is that it verifies that it's a real testimonial, because it pulls that person's social media content, and it identifies them as an actual person, which is always important when you're talking about testimonials and people believing that they're real. And so the second thing it does is it allows you to send that unique link to customers and watch those endorsements and testimonials roll in. And so it basically can integrate into your current feedback flow. You can add the link to your website, into the email, and basically removes those hurdles by providing them with that pre-filled out form containing their information. And they have a thing called super links, and you can actually tie it in to your database or your own info, and it'll actually have their information already filled in when they click that link, so that they can have to fill out even less information when they're going to fill out your actual survey or testimonial. So some of the other things it offers up that FOMO, the fear of missing out. And everybody knows that is a real thing. If they see other people using your your service, they want to join the bandwagon, and but sometimes they need a little nudge, and that can provide that extra nudge that they need to either fill out the testimonial themselves or to use your product. So they're basically going to want that. So we've gone over a couple other things that provide that, but this provides those pop-ups on your website to show them that testimonial, and kind of gets it front and center in anybody with those pop-ups. The other thing it does is it those you can customize the look and timings of it, the triggers and animation, and you can basically make it an integral part of your website, where you're basically calling, it's a call to action. It's a visible thing that everybody goes to your website. They get that front and center testimony information that's so valuable to you and that you want to provide with your to your customers. The other thing, and we were talking about this just a second ago as well, is incentivization. So what you can do with Endorsal is you can incentivize your review and request to increase those conversions and to make it more appealing to write a testimonial. So what it offers you the ability to do is that after all your customers fill in the information, it gives them a reward upon submission. And it's a very powerful feature that does good to increase the conversion rates and builds customer loyalty, because it's kind of that you give me the feedback, I'll give you something in return, and you can even tell them up front, hey, fill out that information, and you're going to get something in return for the testimonial. One of the other things that we talked about this earlier of having all of the reviews in one spot, you don't want them in disparate areas. You may want them on Google, obviously, for looking at them online, and you want to have them on Facebook, but it's also good to have all those reviews on your own website. And so your directory should be the hub of your social proof. Because your website or your directory is the center of your business message online. And so a lot of people spend time and money getting those referrals, those testimonials, but they're sitting on Google or somewhere else. And so Endorsal saves you the time with the integrations and automations to get all of those reviews back to your site so that you can actually profit from those later. And so just looking at, these three, websites, which one of those three is going to make a potential customer, part with their money fastest? Is it going to be stuff on Facebook, stuff on Google, or the one in the middle where it has Google, Facebook, and any leads that came in off from your website all in the same spot? And so what Endorsal does is it allows you to create those that journey of social proof through your website instead of someplace else on the internet, but still allow those to be in those other locations. And so what it does is it allows you to import those in a couple clicks. You basically sign into your accounts, set your preferences. So if you continue with Google and they find it'd be nice if you had 189 reviews on Google, but if there's that many in there on your Google My Business thing, you just click the import button. It'll pull all of those reviews off from Google into your Endorsal account. And then same thing for Facebook as well. And so what it allows you to do is put all your reviews displayed in one place and import those and put them in that. And I think and cement basically the trust for your customers in your own website and pull all of the relevant data, all the sales proof into one spot where you're going to be trying to make the sale. The third thing it does is it displays those testimonials anywhere with just 3 lines of code. So it pulls it out of there and allows you to have different responsive templates and branding to create via their API. And again, it works seamlessly in your Brilliant Directory website. It allows you to embed those wherever you want in minutes with no coding. And I'll show you the demo of the ones that we use for our website here in just a second. Finally, here's some other ways to embed it. So you can change the format of what it looks like. You can emphasize the rating or the logo. You can do all sorts of different styles, but just by a single click, changing what it looks like, you're totally in control of colors, locations, and format that looks good on your site that you want to do. And then it also does a wall of love. It's just another example of widget. And here's the one off from our website. And I'm actually going to go to that right now. If you guys want to look at it on your own as well, you can do that. Just directorytoolkit.com/testimonials. And I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. And I'm going to show you what that looks like live on the testimonials. So here it is on our site. I've got this linked on our homepage. It's basically the wall of love. All my previous clients that are wanting to do testimonial, they've added them in there, and it just gets posted real time onto their formats. And they call it the wall of love. Here's Frank looking good. And just let everybody put their information on the website. And so let me just go to the homepage again. I'll show you just another one of the embed widgets, what it looks like. And I have it down here at the bottom. And it basically just says testimonials, and it just gives a scrollable walkthrough of all the individual testimonials. You can also do a individual post. Like if you want to focus, you can filter which ones you want to show based on ratings or specific ones. You can actually pull out an embed code for a particular person and then add that wherever you want. So you can do it by post, by rating, by location, all sorts of filterable locations that you can do to add to your website. And then finally, what it also does is it allows you to actually provide a page to get the testimonials. So, Rich, this is your moment in fame here. If you don't mind, go to feedback.directorytoolkit.com. feedback.directorytoolkit.com. And then this is what the interface could look like on your page. This is actually what it is. And I'm going to kind of do a live walkthrough of this, and then I'll let you do it on your own website there. And we'll show that in a second on how that looks. But I'm just going to demo here what it would look like for me doing a demo on my own website here. All you do is click the Facebook one-click sync on there. You just saw it pulled my Facebook avatar off from there, and also shows a live preview of what it's going to look like on the website there. Automatically pulled my name and stuff because it verified me from Facebook that is me. Again, this email says not shown publicly. You can add that in there. Oops, I don't even know my own website here. directorytoolkit.com. Again, it adds this in there live just so they know what it looks like. I'm the owner. And I'm in, you can do whatever you want. I'm just, I'll put Michigan. Example, I'm going to give myself a 5-star rating, of course. And then comment here, right? And then just as you're typing, it adds that in there. You see the unlock an exclusive reward by completing your testimonial. So we just talked about that. And then once it's done, you just hit send. and says, thank you for your testimonial has been submitted. And now it says, review us on Facebook. So I'll go back to the slides here in just a second. But what this Endorsal also allows you to do is, instead of sending everybody, what people normally do is send them to Google or send them to Facebook and say, hey, review us on Google. What this allows you to do is segment through your website and through your own process, through your Endorsal site, filter out the good reviews and send them to where you want. While the bad ones, you get to keep internal to you. So it's not cheating, it's not lying. You're not sending fake reviews, but you're sending the people that are going to give you a good review to the other outside locations that you don't control. And so what this allows you to do is, you gave me a 5 out of 5. I like you. I'm now offering you the opportunity to review us on Facebook. So you can do the same thing for me that you did here on Facebook as well. And then and then you give your reward out on there. Here's a 30% off premium membership on Directory Toolkit for life. Use the feedback 30 as the coupon code. So that's your reward that they get for filling it out. And now it's sitting in your repository on the back end in order to fill out. So let me go back to the slides here again. And I'll show you exactly how that works. So basically, it has Facebook and Google for now. They're going to add more additional later, but it basically allows that two-way sync between Google and Facebook. So not only can you pull the links in from Facebook, but you can also push it to there. So looks like they got pull. It has a two-way sync for those, but it has support for any platform that you want. So again, depending on what niche you're in, it can work for all of them. It has Yelp and Amazon and TripAdvisor and Capterra and G2. And basically there's like 50 of them. Basically you can push them to, just like I showed for Facebook, after they give you a good review, you can push them to your destination of choice when they're done. So what it basically does is like this. I've kind of already explained it, but let's say that you get a 5-star review, then it pushes it to them and say, hey, please leave us a review on Google or Facebook. And then if it's a bad review, and you can set what you consider a bad review, it then pushes a separate form that tries to fix the problem. So it then gives them a form that says, hey, sorry to hear that you're not satisfied. Tell us what's wrong, instead of telling Facebook what's wrong. So basically kind of steers them away from something you don't want them to do to something you want to do. And then maybe after you fix that problem, maybe you win them over and they go back and fill out the testimonial, give you a 5 out of 5 star. And now you're sending them to Google and Facebook to review you, as opposed to a bad review. So that is what that is able to do. And I'm going to go ahead and Rich, as we're going here, just go ahead and let me know when you are done, and I'll go demo how to do that or add that to the website.
Already did it. Already submitted it.
Already done. All right, let's go. We'll go in live. I'm going to show you how to do a demo here of what the back end looks like here in a second. But this is it's completely brandable. So this is just my white label back end at testimonial.link for everybody to use. But I'm going to go into the actual thing here. Here's my directory toolkit. I'm going to go to the home. Looks like I had two testimonials awaiting approval. So I'm just going to go check that out.
Changed, Ryan, your screen hasn't changed. It's still frozen on the previous slide or whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry.
39. Be careful, because I only gave you a 1-star review, and I used some profanity in there too.
Oh, okay. Well, it's about to be revealed to the world. So
it looks like it's
okay.
Starting to here now.
Are you guys good?
There it is. Yeah.
Okay. So, 2 reviews, because I gave myself a 5-star review. So I'm going to go ahead. That's a fake one, right? I'm going to go ahead and reject that, or I'm going to delete that one because that's fake. So it gets rid of that one. Now I'm going to go read Rich's here, and again, I have a smaller screen here, so I'm going to scroll over. There we go. So always responsive, delivers above and beyond, unique way to anticipate our needs because I'm telepathic, which is helpful. Avoid challenges with our website before it comes a challenge. Highly recommend working with Ryan only if you want amazing results. So that looks great. I like that one. Appreciate that. You are worldwide. That's good. And so now this is how easy it is. I'm going to click that, and I'm going to go approve, and we're going to go back to my website. And I'm going to refresh my wall of love. It's going to load my testimonials. And I'm going to scroll down here in the test of live. We'll see if this works. And there it is. So right away, I've got it took you saw how long it took to make. Obviously, everybody says it's pretty easy to do. And then I also got an email notification letting me know that I got that feedback. I went in there, reviewed it. It looked good. And then one click, his testimonial is now on here live, both here and on the main page. So you guys can see how easy that is. And we kind of went through all 5 of those steps we talked about earlier about asking for it. And you can send out emails, obviously, through the system as well to get them to do that. They logged in, they did it. I approved it. It's now collected, and it's on my webpage in just a few short minutes. So let me just log in again. If you guys have this system, this is what it would look like for your particular site. So what you do is if you want to, let's say, add a new property, you can add a new property. I'm just going to demo through one of these that I already have set up in here. Oops. And again, so let me go to the directory toolkit. Yep, there we go. So I'm just going to kind of walk through exactly what it is. This will be the home screen. You can do the testimonials. You can tag things. And again, the reason you can tag them is so you can set up different filters and show them on different pages. So that is just simply go to the particular testimonial. I think it's over here. You just add a tag, and it's as simple as that. Here's where you can add a different form. So I'm just going to make a new form. So we'll call this test form. I'm going to choose my objective. So I want to gather feedback or get more Google or Facebook reviews. Let's say I want to get more Facebook reviews. So now, again, you can change your color, add the content. You can use HTML, put whatever you want. You can turn off the branding. You can actually use your own custom domain like I had on mine. You can do the different submission settings. You can then change which one or both that you want to do. You can say, if I only want to ask that if it's 5 stars. You can then do the sorry, we're not satisfied piece. We already talked about that. You can modify what the feedback submission looks like, and then you can localize it for multiple languages. Again, if you don't have an English one, you can do that. And then you can just copy the link and add that in there, and then it's literally set to go. I just made that one form right there, and this is like a rating one. This is an example, and that's the getting more Facebook ones. If I did the other one, it kind of sets it up for doing the page like I just showed you earlier. Here's the widgets again. All you have to do is click embed, and then it gives you the standard div ID tracking. You copy it to a clipboard and then just paste that into a widget for your BD site. The review marketing, that's the push afterwards. Where you're going to get. And so you basically, we're going to ask for those social accounts. So this is where you connect different accounts and use different ones that you're going to ask for. And then you can actually post it to those social media sites. You can actually post it to your social media accounts and ask for reviews straight off from your social media accounts. So I didn't really mention that, but you can also do that. You can also set up your wall of love here. Again, how many columns wide and minimum rating. You can randomize it. You can show the source. And then you set up the card example theme. So this is what I was showing you earlier. You can say, I want to focus on the avatar. I want to do the tweet style, change all the colors to your brand. And then again, just copy the widget code and it goes straight into your PT site and looks as beautiful as I just showed you with a cut and paste. And then here's your FOMO pop-ups where you basically are asking you're showing the testimonials. So this is what, if I turned it on, I don't have it on for my site, but it would pop up like that. It would have Rich's thing, like Rich from Podcaster Directory or whatever, or it'll just say Podcaster Directory if you didn't add a name in there, recommends Directory Toolkit 2 days ago, and it's been verified. And you can turn on all that different stuff. You can show a call to action and say, click here to sign up now. So you see that you can add a call to action on your pop-up buttons. You say, John loves Directory Toolkit. Why don't you sign up now? And so it has a bunch of different things you can, when it pops up to randomize it, you can show it from the last certain days and kind of all customize that. And then integrations. Oops. So for the integrations, we talked about Zapier, Google, Facebook, and then they're doing more two-way sync, but these are for the two-way sync there for Facebook or Google. And let me go do one of those other forms here real quick, just to kind of show you what that looks like on the follow-up for all the different services. But you can have, like I said, I think there's probably like 50 different ones that they add in here that you can push them to. Okay, so publish to other services. So this is what I was talking about. So Facebook, Google, Yelp, Trustpilot, and then you can add a custom service. So I think they used to have a bunch of different ones. Now it looks like you just add in, it's unlimited basically. So if you want to, you can even do your own directory, right? Or a review inside the BD system. Go to the review page there. Have them add one there as well. Basically, any system with any link, you can add that in there, and you basically push them to that service. If they have a 4-star or higher, I usually just do 5. They'll get that link. You can incentivize the request like we showed earlier, and you can use HTML there to give the reward. And then here's the call to action button where you say, hey, buy your discounted service now. So you can basically say there's a discount code and then send them directly to the sign up links to use that discount code on your webpage. Does anybody have any questions on that, or it's pretty simple system?
Yeah, I have some questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so I made some notes. So I think one of you answered as far as on your site, the order that they're listed. So I noticed like Podcasters Directory seemed to came like in the middle. So you probably had that set for random, but you can do it alphabetical by newest to oldest, I guess, or.
Right. Yeah. In fact, I took off the share here. It is randomized. I think otherwise it's by order of precedence. Let me see.
Thinking you might want the newest first, because if I've been there a couple of times to the site, it looks like I'm seeing if it's oldest first, that'd be probably the least.
Yeah, let me take that off. I'll take off the randomized.
I think randomized will be okay, but I think definitely not oldest first, because if I'm a visitor a few times, I'm thinking, well, that's the same reviews I've been seeing for the last couple of weeks.
Right.
Either
right.
Newest.
That's why I recommend random. I just do it, and then it doesn't look like I'm favoring anybody. Like, right. My review's not good enough to go at the top.
Well, that's what I thought when I saw mine. I thought, well, I'm the newest review, so it should be up top, not really favorable. And it definitely wasn't in alphabetical order. So I think random is a good option.
And you can show recency as well. I don't know what that does, to be honest. Let me go back.
Yeah, try recent, because then that way it'll always be fresh. Because even random, if
that's
you're
the one
visiting,
you should go with.
Yeah, because then if I submitted a review, I'm like, oh, I'm excited. it's like the featured page. My review is on the front. Where if it's random, I might not even appear on there. If you have 50 reviews, only 10 are being.
You can. That's the whole idea of the wall of love, is that it's everything. So that you don't only show, like, you can do that for the one on the homepage is to say show 5, show 10. This
Right.
this was your wall of, this is like the, if you have 1,000 reviews, people just get inundated with your scrolling for an hour, looking at all your 5-star reviews.
Yeah, it's too much. And can you actually, speaking of that, can you sort them by the rating from 5 and then below? So all they'll see is 5 stars if you end up.
Yes, you can. So that was so you basically like, that's what I have it set at, minimum rating of 5. So I've only gotten 5-star. I haven't had a 4, but you could do that. Where, I mean, obviously you would. I don't even know why that's there. If you have that,
why would you want that? Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that would show that it's legit. That I think.
Okay, so here's what it does. Let me see.
I think the most recent, and that way, one, when the person submits a review, they get to see it. Second, if I visited the site a few times, I'm going to start seeing some new reviews. But if you're not getting a lot of reviews, it might be better, random, so that if I go there, I'm not seeing the exact same list.
Right.
That's why actually we chose for our new members on Podcasters Directory, we were featured members that we're in control of. But for the newest members that join, I didn't want people visiting there and seeing the exact same new members. So we have it random. And it's actually really cool because then it looks like, dang, every time you go there, they're bringing on new members.
Right.
And if you haven't seen the member, they're new to you, so it's not like we're creating dummy members, but.
Yeah.
So I got a couple other questions if you want to. So the reward, you kind of blew past that, but there was a button on there that you could say, claim your reward or something like that. I'll
go back there.
Because I don't know if I saw it when I filled in my review, and how do you integrate that?
I didn't have a call to action on there. That may be new. I'll probably adjust that, but I didn't have this turned on, the visit button. So so it didn't have that. All I had was hey, get your I showed you live on what that looked like, the 30% off with the code or whatever, and it's just on that submission page.
Yeah, I see that. But how do you if we were to give a reward, how would you integrate that in there? You just create a link or something?
Yeah, so HTML is okay on there. So you can add a link to a page. You can add a link to your directory page that has the PDF on it, or the form that you want them to fill out or whatever. So yeah.
And the way you have it typed in here was
it was exactly kind of like this, where hey, you get 10% off with the code save 10.
One small line of code you could place on any.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Hate those autoplay videos.
That's it. You're getting silenced. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so.
But yeah, so
the other question
I would probably,
is,
if you want to send them to a link, I wouldn't. I mean, you could add HTML here to the reward. I would probably just go click here to to use, and then put the link there. Because I don't put
the promo code
button.
I gave it written in there. Okay. The other question says when you said like the default setting was share Facebook, share to your Facebook, can you change that to Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn or anything? Or
yes. So let's see, where was that at?
There's one small line of
What is going on?
Any web page.
Publish other services. So yeah, so you can turn Facebook, Google, and again, they opened it up. I think that just adds the logo in there. They don't do that if you do here, but you could say Amazon reviews, right? And then you'd add your link there.
okay.
Let's see. Oh, I need a link. So let's do. What's another? A pod. You could do podcaster live review. I don't know. I'm just making something up.
Yeah.
And then
Just put the link.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other question is looking at the pricing on Endorsal. Has the entry list 19 a month?
Yeah. So let me. And I'm an idiot. I did not actually mention this. So give me a second.
Also, Ryan, it's 3:30.
Yeah, this will be the last thing, and then I'll stop the recording there. I'll get the pitch in here real quick. If you guys go to into the directory toolkit, and I have it on here, just click view all if you don't see it. It's right here for Endorsal. So Rich was asking about the pricing. I do offer it. He talked about the entry level piece. I'll go into what we're offering on here. It's $30 a month for the actual product. And this is actually for the $99 a month level pricing stuff. So let me just go to Endorsal real quick. You probably have the link up there yourself there, so you can probably look at it. But here's the actual live pricing from their stuff. You're going to get the professional level, and I'll add this to the website as well. I didn't have time to do it this morning. You're going to get the professional level of service. It's $99 per month for $30 a month. So 100,000 visitors. And then you're also going to have unlimited testimonial submissions. So not 500, unlimited, and unlimited websites and properties as well. And then everything else that you see here. So 100,000 visitors, unlimited submissions, unlimited properties, $30 a month. So that's what we have on the site. So there is a lower version of $19 a month on their site, but it's only 5,000 visitors. And again, that's a visitor it's showing that code on your website. So if it's on your homepage and you get 5,000 visitors or 5,000 page loads, it's going to run through that because you're showing it on your homepage. Any wall of love view, anything like that, it uses that up. That's what those visitors are, and that's what it means by active users across all your properties and all of your forms. Obviously, if you have different forms and different pages, every time it loads that widget, it's a visit or load. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it on your website. Is that a not digital products, but it's under your products and services?
Yeah, products and services. Yeah, it's around just click on the main part of the page. Just click products, and it may show up. It showed up for me on this time, but it may be outside the fold of the 8.
Yeah,
I have this random.
Oh, you have it set it for random?
Yeah.
Okay, so
you don't hit refresh one time. Just hit view all. It'll be on there. Endorsal.
View all. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Endorsal. Okay.
I'm gonna work on the layout of that, but that's where it's at. That's where all the products are at. Some of the other ones that we went over in previous websites, and then all the Frank stuff that we just went over. Here's John's Easy Card as well. So anyway, I'll go ahead and I'm going to stop the recording here for everybody in the recording land here. Thank you for. I'll just keep it live for everybody going here, but so hopefully that helped everybody out for the testimonials. What you can do, why it's necessary. And then just an example service that we offer in Endorsal that kind of does it all for you. So thanks for joining, and I'll see you guys next week.